Come on, Ooga Booga. Ooga Booga. Oogum Boogum. Can't mess with Oogum Boogum? That's right. Get out of here.
greensandmachines.com.
My friends and I had quite an obsession with Crash Team Racing back in the day. We all seemed to agree that Aku-Aku was the coolest character of any video game by far, easily the most charismatic sidekick.
Welcome to the Adventure Arena. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills.
We also had a joke that the voice actor later went on to become the hardstyle vocal for Headhunters.
Some people do music as a hobby, but it's more than that to me. For me, music is everything.
So undeniably, Aku-Aku, aka Ooga Booga, aka Oogum Boogum, was going to be one of the first things I casted as a hood ornament for my bicycle. Because hey, who doesn't want unlimited speed and invincibility while on their vehicle? Now speaking of unnecessary music references, there is actually a record by a band called Aku-Aku called The Night Belongs to Charlie, and it's actually a pretty good song, so I felt like mentioning that while on the subject. But enough rambling, let's get into the build. So I started with a package of Sculpey oven-baked clay. I then printed out this exact image, except in black and white. I learned this method from some sculpture class. You take the black and white image, trace the outline with a fine point Sharpie onto some tracing paper, roll out the clay to the thickest section of your sculpture, and then trace the corresponding outline onto the clay with a sharp object. Here I use a screwdriver. And then very meticulously carve down each layer where it's supposed to be. Now I must say oven-baked clay is much harder to work with than actual clay because here you can't add water, you're kind of just stuck with the malleability it comes with. But after a long time I was able to get it smooth. Then after baking it in the toaster oven, we took it to the foundry, made some open-face sand molds, and I casted 3 of them, and they came out perfect the first try. Here's some old footage from that day, even though I don't really sound that coherent.
Yeah. Oogum Boogum. The real Oogum Boogum. We got Oogum Boogums number 1, 2, and 3. We've got massive aluminum stains on the concrete. Cause somebody don't lift and we got the soap dish mold completely filled for the first time. We're gonna check up on that one later. We got pancakes for days. Pancakes of aluminum that are probably still hot and I don't want to touch. And we got Abel Skeever of aluminum. And we've got...
Yeah, that was the first day we casted the soap dish too. But anyways, here shaking them out in the sandbox. One of them came out thicker than the other 2. I think the metal must have been cooler by that time. The third one was noticeably almost twice as thick because the metal bulged out from the top of the sand. Then after cutting off all the extra metal, cleaning them up with a wire brush, brushing Aku-Aku's teeth, and the one that became the hood ornament, I found this reflector in the street conveniently, cut it to shape with the hacksaw, sanded it, filed it, hot glued it on there, and also drilled and tapped mounting holes in the back. And there we go, on my bike all geeked out, even with the Luke Skywalker helmet. Now, I eventually took it off my bike because all that extra weight on the basket and the vibration, it started destroying the basket. Like my new basket has a big hole in the front because I went mountain biking with Aku-Aku and the vibration just was non-stop. So I just have him mounted on my bookcase now. Still one of the coolest things I've casted probably. Arguably the coolest. Certainly not as blinged out as Trippy Red's uka-uka chain, but at least within my budget. And I also casted a bunch of onks, which are the relic from Crash Team Racing. Not the same exact shape, but I figured I'd throw that in there too.
uka-uka.